Hello all, let us start a small series of videos on the most used pocket computer called the Raspberry Pi. So basically many of us might be using Raspberry Pi in our applications, or some people might be interested in learning about Raspberry Pi. So today we will see some of the important aspects of Raspberry Pi. So we don't want to get into the technical stuff, show you how to port and all straight away. These are series of videos which we wanted to create. As a first video, we just wanted to give an introduction to the Raspberry Pi and then continue discussing. So this video is basically dedicated to the guys who have been behind this Raspberry Pi and worked hard to come up with a board which is useful for many people. So now, just to go into the background of Raspberry Pi, do you know Raspberry Pi was designed not for the technical people to work on projects? Did you know that? So just to let you know, Raspberry Pi basically had background of being designed in UK, United Kingdom, where the university students were worried that people were more used to develop applications or more used to work at a very high level rather than burning their hands. So they have come up with an idea and they just wanted to design a board such that people, mainly the students, the college level, the school level students, play around with those boards, develop applications with that, and then design different products based on that. So that was the theme of the Raspberry Pi design, but over a period of time it entered into our applications. We started using it for our some of our products. So that was the basic background of why Raspberry Pi was designed. Now you can see right now whatever the Raspberry Pi that is running is a Pi 4 Model B, which is the latest one in the market, which is based on the quad-core processor. So it initially started with a simple microcontroller, 80 mega microcontroller, and then slowly, once the mobile market and the desktop market, mobile market and the tablet started flourishing because of the chips started getting cheaper, the processor chips, and then the memory started getting cheaper. At that point of time, Raspberry Pi took a great turn where they designed this pocket-sized board and released into the market. So it was first designed with microcontroller and it did not click, and then over a period of time, once the processor started, they just wanted to make it a universal board where everyone can use it across, mainly the students, and learn many things. That was the intention of the Raspberry Pi board when it was designed. Now you can see this. It's a rage in the world now. Everyone uses Raspberry Pi. So recently, I was surprised. One of the guy was using Raspberry Pi in their board, and they were facing MIMC issues, which was questioned in one of the portal. So it went to that extent where a full-fledged projects have been designed. So you cannot treat Raspberry Pi and create a supercomputer kind of thing. It doesn't support. You cannot compare a Raspberry Pi to a desktop, because the desktop boards have more processing capabilities, and that much processing capability may not be possible, but you can create a simple handheld devices definitely with Raspberry Pi and use it in your different applications. Now, one of the major thing, if you see from the Raspberry Pi boards, you can learn that the Raspberry Pi model initially, when it was released, I think it was around 2012 when it was released, they came up with a model. They had an idea in mind. They knew that they wanted to do a form factor, stick to it and release different versions based on it. So their idea, their thought process was way ahead, and now once they designed this model, a pocket-sized board, they carried the same form factor across the board or across the models. So you can see their vision, how it was. That's the kind of design criteria we also have to follow. Like if you're designing something for your company, it's important that you design it for future needs. You have to be portable across, and Raspberry Pi is a versatile board and it is scalable. You can connect many number of interfaces. So now this Raspberry Pi, if you see the current existing Pi 4 board, it is available around $35, and based on the RAM versions, the cost vary. But it was designed for students, as we have mentioned, and low cost was the primary criteria for these guys when they designed this board. So you can imagine their criteria was not to make business. Their criteria is to help students out there to develop their skills on programming, burn their hands, and help students to learn new things. That was the intention behind the Raspberry Pi. And now Raspberry Pi came a long way, and everyone are interested in it. Right now, Raspberry Pis are based on ARM processors. So you can just look in to the specifications. We will talk about those specifications in the future videos. But the story is very interesting. These guys, you can. I just have a Raspberry Pi 3 model my hand, and you can see this. I'm just unlocking it from the box. So you can see this how small it is, and as a designer, so if you are a beginner, you may not be surprised with the form factor, because you might not know the complexity behind. But a designer who has worked, a designer who has burned his hands, a designer who worked day and night to bring up a board of such form factor knows the amount of effort that is put in. It's very difficult to bring up a board with this form factor. So for all the techies there, here such boards are called HDI, high density interconnect boards, where the density of the boards is very high, and the normal vias which we have across the boards are not feasible to use here. You will end up designing a large board if you do that. So there are micro vias here. So micro vias are like the vias which are around 0.15 mm, if I am correct, 0.15 mm as per the IPC standard. So you can imagine the the complexity of that via. So, and in those micro vias also you have stacked and staggered vias. So we will talk about that in the future videos. So these kind of vias are done using laser drills. So the complexity of the board can be understood, and bringing up this board is a big challenge for anyone. So for right now, what we are using is a board which works. You port the OS directly, but think of designing a board in this form factor, and you have to say hats off to these designers who have worked on this. Now that's what these guys worked hard and came up, and right now we are using it for our application. So in the next videos, what we will do is we will talk about the peripherals of the Raspberry Pi. Here this video specifically we just wanted to talk because a basic introduction is required, why a Raspberry Pi was actually designed, what it was meant for. We got a glimpse, and we will explore Raspberry Pi in the next videos. Thanks for watching. Stay glued to our channel, subscribe to our channel, and let us know your feedback. Thanks for watching.